Battle to the death, fighting till I take my last breath, till there's nothing left of this flesh, till it's past tense. Got up on the fence, henceforth this intense. I was lost, now a friend, now a force with the pen for the Lord. Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to Marrio Esco Live. I am your host, Marrio Esco. Alongside me are my co-hosts and good friends, Gil Vargas and Brent Tavares.
What up?
I haven't done that in a while.
We'll do a small hand clap.
Share the show. I beat you to it.
He did. Oh,
share the show. Oh, yeah, you took my word.
Nice. What up, everybody coming in? We do have a special guest in the building with us today. I'll introduce them shortly, but first, welcome to the show.
But first,
as you guys jump in, make sure to join the email list, share the show. Thank you, Brent. Subscribe to my YouTubers, leave a review to my podcasters. Make sure you hit
a thumbs up.
Hit a thumbs up and the alert bell down at the bottom. Is that what they do? hit the alert bell down at the bottom.
Therefore, so you can get those notifications. Or a clip.
Yep, you got to do all the gimmicks, man. You got to. Let me try these. We got new sounds. In here.
And you know what, Brent? I'm gonna let you know right now. You're gonna be let down because he still didn't do the deep dive button.
Nope.
Oh, I did actually. It's one of these keys.
You did not do the water splash.
It's one of these keys.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, it's one of those keys, but I don't know which one it is.
You need to repent.
Hold up. Let me see. Okay. D2Lproductions.com. Go to D2Lproductions.com. We got merch. We got music. We got videos. We got family. We got
families.
We got affiliates. We got
stuff.
You can order a family.
Hit us
stuff
up.
All over the place, man.
Chop it up. Shout out to our partners. This deserves the long clap right here. Ready?
Yeah.
This is one of the new.
The long clap.
Yeah, I call it that. Come on. Don't fail me.
It's so long.
Don't fail me now. All right, short clap.
Short clap.
That was supposed to be the deep dive, right?
Man, that was supposed to be the long hand clap. Shout out to our partners. God of a Porn, the B.A.R podcast, the Prayer Plug, Rep the King Worldwide, Rap Remnant, Bridge Radio 520 Collector, The Unashamed Network, Godify, GHD Radio, and Sound the Alarm. Shout out to Rap Remnant. Gil, do you mind grabbing those shirts right there? Shout out to Rap Remnant for hooking us up with these shirts right here. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thanks, brother. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Shout out to Rap Remnant, man. We love you. Sent us
Appreciate
a gift right
love.
here. These shirts are, what do they represent, Gil?
It's the Christian hip hop. International Christian hip hop
International.
What is this day? What is this day?
It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. What is the dates?
2020. January 16th, 2020.
So what's the idea behind this? Do you know?
I do not know. I'm receiving this shirt. I wish Chris Busker would explain right now and be like, take it away, Chris
Well, either
Busker.
way, you know what? It's pretty dope that there's
here.
a day that he's trying to build to represent and remember Christian hip hop. I think that's dope. Some kind of appreciation or something like that. I think we should have more of those, like events, like awards, like stuff like that. You know what I mean? And open that up for more possibilities for other artists to get recognized for the work that they put into.
Super dope.
Producers, rappers, singers, songwriters, you know.
Janitors.
I know he got
janitors. Christian hip hop.
Gotta clean up after them dudes after they rap.
Christian hip hop janitors. I love it.
We can't forget about y'all.
You do have.
We're not going to forget about the janitors.
You really do. Nah, shout out to the Christian hip hop janitors.
I'm sure there's a janitor out there bumping Lecrae.
Shout out to the Christian hip hop.
Writing them rhymes on third shift, mopping.
Cool. Quick recap, because we got our special guests on the line, so I want to make sure we get through. Quick recap, Sheepless Nights, episode 79. Brent, I'm sorry if I missed that. I'm sure I'll listen back and laugh. My bad, brother. Sheepless Nights, we had Joseph Montero in the building with us, Concepts manager. It was a blessing to have him on with us. It was a very, I guess it was a show that would probably best be beneficial for the Christian creative. If you're an artist, recording artist, or
there was a ton of gems on managers
Yep.
and how to navigate and be prepared.
Yeah.
Definitely check out the
It was
show.
like one big creative tip.
Yeah.
The whole show was just one
pretty
big
much. And we haven't had a
creative
show
tip.
like that in a while, so I was actually really cool with it.
Yeah,
We
that was
don't
dope.
Even though we typically don't do the whole show for.
I mean, I think sometimes we think we sound smarter than we actually do, but it was a dope time either way.
It was.
Gotta fake it till you make it.
Yeah, fake it.
You gotta fake it till you make it. Why did you have to say it like that, Brent?
That's the creative tip.
Gotta be real.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
keep it 100.
Man, we gotta have these sound. No, I'm gonna import this sound because we cannot do this without the proper sound. Hold on one second. Gil, say something.
I know this is the first time we're multi-streaming, so I've been trying to check it out. I'm not sure if people are seeing it on Facebook. I'm not seeing it. It's not popping up on my radar.
Well, it's online. It's there. It's the Marrio Esco. It's the Marrio Esco live, brother. It's not
on it right now.
It should be there. Let me see. Well, anyway,
but yeah,
it says we're online actually. View event. Anyway, leave it going. I got to bring in these. This sound. I got to bring in the proper sound for this.
So that Hold on one second. The exciting claps. The long 20-minute
this needs
claps.
to have the proper sound.
Mara chose a lot better sounds, but that clap is like 20 minutes of clap.
There we go. There's the sound. Ladies and gentlemen,
here it is.
Applausio.
Our special guests. I'm so excited about these sounds. Our special guests. Yeah. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but it sounds beautiful. Just trust me, my special guest.
Just trust me, my special guest.
It sounds amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, the founder of the B.A.R podcast. Not only a podcast, but also a network that he's building out with a lot of awesome people that interviewing a lot of recognized, well-known individuals that are serving faithfully in the reform community. Really excited about the work that he's been doing. My brother, my partner, my mentor, my now he's my fitness coach. Ladies and gentlemen,
now he's
Dawain Atkinson is in the building. Dawain, what's up, brother?
What's good, fellas?
What's good, man? What's good, man? Let me switch up the scene real quick. How you doing, brother? Yeah. Where are you right now? Where you reporting from right now?
Now, I'm actually in my booth at G3 conference in Atlanta.
Fire.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up. So it hasn't started officially yet. It's starting tomorrow, right?
Right, correct.
Dope. So you guys are out there setting up and doing
yes, sir.
You
got ready, man.
Dope. Can we get a behind the scenes like we can't even see the camera.
I'm about to say you can't show them.
Come on,
we got to work on that.
Don't worry, that's coming. See, I'm thinking ahead. That's
There you go.
So, brother, man, talk to us, man. So, what are you doing out there? Do you serve every year out there at the conference?
So, not every year. We had a booth 2 years ago, and decided to take a break last year because it's a lot of work. And then we back here again this year, just, bringing awareness to the podcast, to the network, and, just connecting with a lot of listeners. That's the beautiful thing about it is being able to meet people that listen to your show, man. People look at you, recognize your voice, things like that, man.
That's dope. That's one thing that we were just talking about, man, that we're lacking in. Just that desire to meet our partners and our listeners and the audience face to face, man.
Awesome.
Let us know, like, how do you feel like when people come up to you and they recognize you, but you're, as a listener, but you're not familiar with them, and how is that?
It's a little. It takes getting used to, man. It's a little weird when people know your name, and social media is the worst because you post everything. There, he's like, you try to have a conversation, like, yeah, I just went to I see you went to the gym. Like, dang, bro, like, let me tell my story. Like, you gotta. But no, it's very humbling, man. Because when you podcast, you guys know you do a show. When you're doing it, you unless you're doing it live and can see people, you never know who's listening, man. So it's always a blessing to actually connect with people that are listening.
Facts. Do you ever wrestle with like pride or anything like that? Or?
Of course.
Or better question: have you had somebody try to rebuke you and be like, Dawain, I don't think that it's wise for you to be showing your muscles.
Oh my God, you went there.
You slipping it up.
I'm just curious because I know they're out there, and I know I've
as a podcast
them,
influencer. He's
what I'm saying? Like, man, the eyes is out there. People are like, oh my goodness.
No, see that's the thing, man. Thing is, and not saying that I'm untouchable, but because I don't come off as a pastor or anything. I'm a lay person, that has mistakes and flaws, and because I don't come off arrogant as if I don't sin. I rarely get approached by stuff like that, man. Now I will say I did get DM'd and was like, yo, one time on Instagram,
somebody snuck in your
I
DMs.
Like
Somebody slid in the DMs.
You had to rebuke
somebody. Hey Mario, somebody was like, "Can I take you for Chinese takeout?"
You
heard that?
I did hear that.
Chinese take out.
Yo, that's the
Stop
shot.
it, man.
Chinese takeout.
That's it.
Yeah.
Chinese takeout, man.
Yep. Facts.
So what was in this DM?
Oh man.
So it was.
Sorry, Dwayne.
That's
So
exactly
listen,
what happened.
goodness.
Somebody slid in the DMs after seeing the muscles.
Go ahead. Oh, somebody's
Well,
okay.
So here's the thing. Let me tell you, y'all done turn my story all around.
Go ahead, Dwayne.
So it was actually, and I respect it, man. It was actually a sister in Christ was like, yo, I understand you're doing your thing, but you got to take it easy with them jogging pants.
Put them guns away.
You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those things, man. And I was great. I was like, yo, I appreciate it. I'll be mindful. I definitely listen, man, because I'm not trying to be a stumbling block.
Facts, yeah. I wrestle with that too, man, for a moment. And you know what? It's that fine line because you do want to encourage. I think it is good to encourage. Fitness and eating healthy. I think that's a blind spot that we have as a culture. I think it's shifted since Instagram came in and everybody's fit now. And now everybody's, into fitness. Now like smoking is not cool. Like remember back in the day, everywhere you went, there was cigarette smoke everywhere.
Now it's vaping.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Vaping is the cool thing now.
Not in Massachusetts.
You
that junk
smoke
illegal.
Cigarettes?
You can't even vape in Massachusetts no more.
Really?
It's a whole shift now.
Nah, bro. They
vaping give you high blood pressure.
For real. Vaping is like the new cool thing. Like being able to, and then the thing is what they promote is that they're able to smoke anywhere. Like they could just be in a restaurant just because it kind of just evaporates.
Cotton candy.
Word.
So it just became the new status symbol.
Right.
Where cigarettes did that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at them, they're smoking.
You better watch out for that secondhand vape.
That secondhand vape.
Secondhand vape.
It'll vaporize you. So brother, my corny jokes always
secondhand
my
vape.
corny jokes always kills it, gets us refocused. See, there's a gift to the corniness, man.
It
See,
is.
Brent, there's a method to the madness, bro.
It kills the
daddy
vibe.
jokes. Look at it.
So when the vibe is destroyed, we're able to move on.
I love you to death.
Now,
That's Mario's
Mario.
whole strategy.
Mario,
He's the
I'm
best.
trying not to chew gum in the mic. And I'm like,
Even though it's on camera, everybody's
Dwayne,
seeing you play Matrix.
What's
to
the
mic.
idea with the bar? Would you call it the B.A.R network or the B.A.R podcast network?
Well, either one works. So what, my whole mindset with anything, man, is if I can put people on, I'm going to. And I actually had a crew before I started podcasting. I have a Facebook page called Be Not Deceived. And so I had a crew of people already working on that. And once I had the idea to start the podcast and I built the B.A.R to, the level it is on a platform, that's when I reached back out to my crew and was like, hey, if you want a podcast, I can help you. You want a podcast? And then that grew into people outside of the crew, man, just asking to join and actually me helping people start podcasts. People that I help start, if I feel a connection there and we're cool, I make them part of the network. And it's just been a ongoing thing, man.
Is that is it like an open invitation that you do? Is there a way to submit, or is there a way for people to?
Yeah. So you reach out to me, hit me up, and especially if you're outside, I don't know anything about you already established. I tell people we put you through the ringer. I get my whole team to investigate your life. Pull your social security number, all that stuff.
Dang.
Make sure you're legit.
Right.
W4.
Check your blood to make sure
W2 forms.
Right.
Check your blood.
Yeah. but yeah, so and then after that, then we'll come together collectively and make a decision. But a lot of the podcasts that are on the network actually they approached me about helping them start, and then once we got in the process and I saw their concept and I like what they're doing, then I'll give them the invitation like, hey, I like what you're doing. I think this would be dope. You want to join the network, and most people say yeah.
That's what's up, man. And are you looking to expand? Is that something that you want to do?
So I mean, it depends on God, man. I'm not trying
actively,
to I'm not actively doing it. We can stay where we are and be fine. But sometimes he put relationships in your path, man, that just works. And that I credit that, man, to just having discernment and having a strong team around me.
Amen. And now what's the vision for the website and everything that you're doing moving forward for this year?
Man, so this year, I really want to focus on Just Thinking, which is one of the podcasts on our network. It is the most popular podcast on our network. They have over 500,000 downloads in less than a year of production.
Wow.
They're doing a live recording tomorrow at G3. And so this year, we really want to push just content for Just Thinking, be more proactive with their content, as well as maybe setting up some extra material from them. Daryl Harrison, which works at Grace CU now, and Virgil Walker do an excellent job, man, with that podcast. So that's kind of the focus. The bar, I consider the bar like we're the locomotive, man. We're going to keep trucking. We're going to keep turning the wheels. But with Just Thinking, I want to really push those guys and see what heights we can reach.
Amen, man. We'll be praying for you, man. We're excited about what you're doing and everything that's happening. Do you want to share any links or anything like that people can go to access your stuff?
For sure, man. You can always go to the B.A.R.podcast.com. And if you want to hear any of the network, there's a tab for the network. And then, your listeners and your viewers know that you guys be rocking the gear. So you can hit the tab on the B.A.R.podcast.com to go to the B.A.R. gear and pick up some B.A.R. gear.
Amen. Amen. That's what's up, brother. Again, man, it's an honor to have you on. Is there anything that you want to say to the people that you want them to know, or any encouragement for other maybe possible Christian podcasters or anything like that?
Yes, sir. So my encouragement for those that are thinking about doing a podcast is stop thinking and do, man. I get not thousands. I get hundreds of inboxes of people saying, hey, I'm thinking about doing a podcast. The worst thing you can do is tell me that, because right in this day and age, you can literally start a podcast with just your smartphone, no microphone, no computer. You literally can start it with just your smartphone. And so to those thinking about a podcast, to those trying to get everything together and do your script and do your logo, forget all that, man. Get started. Podcast is the future. In this day and age, we live in a Netflix society where we want stuff when we want it. So nobody listens to the radio anymore. So podcast is the future. And then the great thing about podcasts is there's no NBC, ABC, or CBN to block you out of it. You literally can start right now and be all over the world. And it's up to you, man, to do it. Don't talk about it.
Amen, man. That's a great way to close out, man. We appreciate you, brother. We'll be praying for you, man, and everything that you got going on. That's the wrong one. I just played the wrong sound. But hey,
never wrong to have some.
That's a celebration, man.
I told you to label it.
But the Mexican bachata band came out.
I've been telling you to label those for like 3 months. You saw me do
my jig. I had a feeling it was some kind of Mexican band. I was like, okay, here we go.
All right, brother, man. Yo, it's a blessing talking to you, brother. I'm looking forward to chopping up with you after this. We're gonna jump into a skit. This is actually the B.A.R. podcast skit that I did, the very first one that I done. And yeah, man, Classic. It's a blessing. It's an honor, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Take care.
Peace.
Take care, brother.
Peace out.
And God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish, over the sea and the birds of the heavens and over every living thing that moves on the earth.
What does it mean to multiply?
It means Well, when a man and a woman leave their house, they become united as one, as husband and wife, with the blessing of the Father, of course, and then they have children and multiply. That's what it means.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, B.A.R Podcast. So there's a secret and revealed will. Thanks, B.A.R Podcast.
Babe, I know you're doing Bible study, but can you help me do dishes?
Of course, babe. You know I'm gonna help you, my love.
You know what? I'll do them. It's okay.
You sure?
Yeah, I'll do them. Don't worry about it.
All right.
You know what? Do you want a coffee?
Yeah, I would love to have one.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, B.A.R Podcast.
Diligent Bible study is necessary to properly understand the revealed revelation of God. Simply by putting on the B.A.R Podcast hat does not make you a theologian or suddenly equip you for heralding the Word of God. It just makes you look cool. Buy yours today.
Thank you, Barcast.
B.A.R Podcast.
I said Barcart.
Oh,
Ruff,
That's a podcast.
He's so cute. That's my baby. So for those the podcasters that were listening, every time you heard the I was putting on the B.A.R Podcast hat, and it was like shining and doing all these special effects things. So
Go check it out on
just to give you-
YouTube.
just to give you some context.
Clean
Go check
Fun
it out on
Comedy.
YouTube.
Go check it
That's
out.
All right, yo, that was Dawain Atkinson from the B.A.R Podcast, man. Shout out to him. It was an honor to have him on. It's a blessing, bro. He's always been accessible and available and always willing to build and help out in any way that he can. Really good brother, man. You could tell he's all about, our father's business, for real,
Yeah.
Like he's really about that. So I appreciate that, brother, man. Shout out
Amen.
to him. Go check out the barpodcast.com for some awesome content that you guys will, I think you guys will be blessed and edified by. So jumping into creative tip. Gil, Vargas, creative tip. How to find your creative style, and should you even care? What do you mean by that? Because I know that you
So
go ahead.
why I say that is because yes, the common thing is when you talk to an artist, it's like you'll find yourself, like find your identity or find your niche or find your genre. That's like the most common thing. So you get so drilled in that you find your genre or you find your style, and then you stay stuck there, and then you start to get bored and all that. So what I found out was like you're not really tied to just one genre. If you want to, and you sent me a clip of Drake saying the same thing. Like he even found rap to be boring. Like he
Almost
couldn't-
like he felt boxed in.
yeah, like he couldn't really express himself, which is why he started singing and doing all these extra stuff on his music and combining styles, reggae and all these things, because you don't want to ever be stuck in one. So that I felt like that would be a cool topic to talk about. Like, even though you have a genre that you're more comfortable, it doesn't mean that you can't branch out and just experiment with other genres, other styles. You know what I mean? Just to really find yourself as an artist, not just as someone who's really good at this style or really good at this genre. You're an artist, ultimately,
I guess it depends on what role you actually play. So for some people, they're really good singers, excellent singers, but they can't write for anything. They just have a really, really powerful voice and they're really skilled.
But I feel like that's something that could be learned, though. Like, like singing, I feel like you have it. It can be developed, But if you're one of those singers that are really going out there, really going hard for it, then you built that up. So you can do the same for writing. You can do the same for any other roles. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But what I'm saying is like some people don't have the ability to songwrite. But that's what I mean. Like some people
So you don't believe that someone can learn either?
No, I believe you can learn different things, but it depends on the learning ability of the individual. Do they even have the time to learn? Do they even have the, like you have singers who literally just do cover songs. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You don't, like, if you're a singer, you don't have to create original content if that's not your desire.
True.
You legit can just go and faithfully serve at your church and sing hymns for the rest of your life and be content with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Like cover songs or whatever. I know people that actually do cover songs as a career. We know somebody who used to do that.
Yeah.
They did that that was their career, cover songs. They made money off of that. So it's not to say that you can't learn something. It's just some people just don't have it in them to do that.
Yeah, they just don't have a desire for it.
Yeah. Or some people can songwrite, but they can't sing at all. They're dope at writing songs, and they'll make you sound amazing, but put them in the booth, they can't sing for anything, or even rappers. Same thing. There's ghostwriters that can easily rap what they're writing, but they're not going to make it anywhere. You give it to somebody like Drake or something like that, they're going to make millions off of it. But if they tried it, actually, wasn't there a story with Drake's ghostwriter, known ghostwriter, tried to do his own album, like his own music and stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But it didn't go as far as like with Drake.
That's a prime example.
I think there was a dude back in the day. What was his name? He was one of the biggest ghostwriters. Mad Skills. And he wrote for a lot of dudes. And his first album was just, but lyrically, how he could write, compose, and he wrote for some of the best artists in hip hop during the 90s specifically, but he just couldn't really put it down as an artist.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you're in a lane and you know that you have a gift in that lane or that style or whatever you want to call it,
I need to know where these gems are.
Understand that you're in that specific lane and you're
that's a level up.
Power up.
That's fine.
And
take it.
Just know that you're in that lane and it might be a gifting. So with that, don't be afraid of being unique as opposed to sort of run of the mill or something that people are doing every day.
Yeah.
Because you kind of want to be different sometimes. And if you are, that's cool.
Yeah.
And don't try to merge into everything else just to have a certain type of sound. So if you're creative in a certain way, then
then do that.
Yeah.
Be faithful to where you're best suited or where you best perform.
Right. And you can look at you can look at Outkast as an example.
Look that you're only that.
Right.
You know what I mean? That if you decide you want to branch out, that you can.
Right.
A lot of people feel like that no, just stick to what you know. Just do what you know best.
What's up, EC
Stick
Holmes?
to what's familiar. But I disagree. I feel like if you have the desire, like Mario's saying, you should. Whether you're a producer, singer, songwriter, try it out. Like even I agree that even those songwriters, the fact that they try to make it on their own,
right?
I champion that.
Yeah.
But then what if they had that? What if their whole life?
I like experimental music. I mean, I've always, especially listening to hip hop coming up, I've always liked something that just kind of changed, that was different.
Yeah.
So when I was young,
that's why you were a fan of Outkast.
I'm a huge fan of Outkast.
Okay.
Were
you a Bone Thugs fan?
I appreciate Bone Thugs, but I wasn't a huge fan.
Everybody knows that one.
They were like they were like the gangster Boys to Men.
The gangster boys.
They were the gangster boys to men.
All kinds of
they even wore suits and
all
everything.
kinds.
They try to dance.
Meet you at the crossroads. In their own right, they were dope, and I appreciate them because it was distinctly different. Nobody was doing what they was doing. So that's the classic example of you're good at something and go with it because your lane, there's nobody else driving in that lane.
Right.
When people try to get up in your lane and start merging up into it, try to find another one. You know what I'm saying? In a sense,
true.
I love what you're saying. I love what you're saying because now I'm learning your flavor. I know what
Like
you're
Craig Mack?
attracted to.
kick it.
You
new
notice
flavor.
how he mentioned Outkast. He mentioned what else you mentioned? Well, I mentioned.
I liked a lot of different. I mean, I used to like Arrested Development.
You liked a lot of very unique individuals that stayed true to their sound.
Well, at the time, that's what hip hop was about at the time too.
Staying unique to your sound.
And I like the Arrested Development.
Yo,
Take me to another place.
Doing. Because to unfold what you're saying, right? When you're saying like basically find yourself as an artist is what you're saying.
Yeah. I don't disagree with finding yourself. Like when they say, yo, you need to find yourself. You need to truly, understand who you are as an artist and stuff like that. I get that.
Yeah.
But I don't think you should just be completely boxed into whatever you end up being really good at. Like you can expand, you can become better, you can
or if you can't, right? If there's areas that you lack and you can't, you look for somebody that's better in that area.
Yeah.
So
that's
for me,
still part of the growing.
For me, I produce my own sound. I think I can actually make a really good produced sound if I had more time to focus and develop that skill. Yeah, but because I don't have the bandwidth to do it, I know better. I'm smarter enough to step away from that.
Know who else? I'll give you more examples. Lauryn Hill, Wyclef. They both learned. They were in the Fugees.
Yeah.
And they rapped.
Yep.
And then when they went solo, they went a totally different direction.
Yeah, Lauren started singing.
She started singing, and she was actually better at singing. Than rapping. I mean, she was a phenomenal rapper.
Is easy. Like she probably like, man.
But then why?
The way she sings is like you can't. There's nothing to scoff at.
No.
Like, the chick can sing.
And then Wyclef branched off, did more of his own type of he had a very inclusive sound. It had a lot of elements to it. Haitian, probably Dominican because that's where he's from. Haitian, Dominican, same island.
Yeah.
And then I think he grew up in New Jersey or whatever. So having all those roots, he kind of merged his first album. He called it The Carnival, which is fitting because there was a lot of different elements and odd things to it, which wasn't really standard in hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the Roots came and they have the live band sound.
Right.
They had, and so there's people that come and find a different lane and then they make it. And then they're able to merge and go in and out of lanes temporarily and be able to make it somewhere else. Maybe not a full album doing a different style, but they might be able to do a couple collaborations with people and it sounds dope.
Yeah.
So experiment with what you can, what you think you can't do.
Yeah.
Experiment with it.
Try it.
Yeah, you don't have to put it out there, but experiment it. It's like
just try it. Yeah.
You
stretch yourself.
Right. If you don't like doing triceps, but eventually, you're gonna have to get there and work them out.
Yeah. Facts. No, I like that. So part of the creative process as an artist is trying new things, even daring things that you're not comfortable with, or maybe things that you don't think you're good at. Because I know Gil, I challenged you the first time you wrote your first song.
Yep.
It's because I was like, yo, you're writing this hook.
Mm-hmm.
You were like, I never wrote a hook
for
before.
It because if you would have never did that, I probably would have never experimented that.
Yep.
I probably would have never even thought of writing songs.
Remember that?
Yeah.
We wrote that song.
Angel of Love.
we performed it to our ladies.
Yep. Angel of Love. And we
go way back.
Yeah, bro. Super
Angel of Love.
What was it like? Some Kenny G unit? Kenny G unit?
Making raps Angel of Love.
I wish we had that track.
Oh,
I would
man.
so play it right now.
Oh, but also another thing.
Heavenly?
Yo, another thing is
Angel of Love.
So
that's the name of the song.
Heavenly.
Oh my goodness, bro. Don't do it.
How's it go, girl?
Yo, this is gonna end up like Lyrical Lobster.
One for me, girl.
That sound like New Edition.
I had the word girl in there.
Girl.
Was that BBD?
Like, it was the ending.
That was like BBD.
He even wrote it.
That's how you know that was like 90s.
Yeah. You always say girl.
Did you grab after air?
Girl.
You gotta grab after air when
I had to do the R&B finger.
Right?
Right?
The R&B singer.
But like when you call him over, yo,
it's like
and point at him.
What is that?
Spider-Man.
That's that karate finger, bro.
Girl.
Spinning webs, bro. What are you, Spider-Man?
What are you catching her? You sicko with the web.
That's
You're the
facts.
one for me, girl.
I'm gonna get caught up in my web, girl.
Catching her up.
Gotcha.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, audience.
But another thing on that
creative
tip real quick is
You know every great
expand
R&B song ends with a girl.
your experiences too. Don't just listen to hip hop.
Facts.
Go back in time. Listen to old hip hop. Listen to old R&B.
Yeah.
You know, don't listen to mumble rap. Don't listen to country.
Man, bro, no, mumble rap.
No, I'm
too.
just messing around. But
dope?
like,
you know what's dope about mumble rap? You know what's dope about them is that they understand melody. They understand rhythm and melody very well. And I feel like J. Cole was marrying the content with the rhythm and melody part of it.
Yeah, he's trying.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you can do it. And they're introducing more melodic sounds to hip hop. And I think, there's going to be a major clash, and hip hop is not going to taste the same anymore, bro. Like it's already shifted so far, but it's going to continue to shift. It's going to be very, very, I'm excited about it, man. I mean, cause it's incorporating music.
Yeah.
Not just like.
It's becoming more artful.
It's becoming very more artful and tasteful. And, people are combining different genres and sounds that blend. They're finding ways to blend them so well that they're literally becoming a whole different sound. And it's actually exciting.
That's been happening for a while. It's just not as regular as it is now, probably. I mean, it's just hip hop's been a very experimental music. From the jump, because they included disco, jazz, funk,
because they didn't
R&B.
have an original sound.
No, right. So they incorporated different cultures of music, specifically. And then you had the Latino influence, and they added some of that. And then Rick Rubin added some of the rock influence to it. So hip hop is a melting pot of sound, but you can't, the drums is what determines that it's basically hip hop. You could add all the melodies and samples and all the stuff you want.
No, it has
but if it doesn't sound like a certain,
it has to carry a certain rhythm. And then also like the artist too has to be able to communicate. You can kind of pick up on who's trying and they're not from the culture.
They was just influenced by it, but they never really like lived in it.
You feel like he's one of them that try to
I think he's just a musician that it's like, hey, go work with him because he's on the label, and it's like, all right, cool, I'll do it.
You don't feel like he was trying to intentionally grab the sounds of a specific culture and create his own.
Maybe I think he seemed like he was influenced by Michael Jackson a lot, in his music, to me. You know what I mean? So,
and just genuine in R&B, you can clearly hear it in his voice that he has a strong influence in R&B as well as pop.
But I will say this about guys like Timberlake. Throughout history in the United States, as far as recorded music goes, black music has been being stolen since its inception, right? Like since back in the day. Elvis stole stuff from Sammy Davis Jr. and the Rat Pack.
Like that word.
Like, it was stolen.
And the reason why I say that is because I feel like music is an expression.
Right.
And so like the way we use words, you know what I mean? If I like the way you use the word and I use it now too, I didn't steal it from you.
No.
It's just like I learned something and I want to use it to my benefit.
Well, what's different now? Like there's more legal ramifications involved and stuff like that. But
like hip hop came from all stolen. And I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, really think it was stolen.
But that's not what I mean. I mean, I might have took it too far with that. But what I mean is,
that word. Man.
But he was saying was like, is he trying to be part of a culture that he's not? And back in the day, people's musics would get stolen like word for word, melody for melody. So like
stolen.
But it was for the profit.
And you're right.
It was for the profit of people that never lived that culture. You know what I'm saying? So it happens today. Obviously, they're more business savvy, but it happens a lot. You see it a lot. But it's just a lot of people are influenced by hip hop too, or hip hop started out in the hood, but there's a lot of white kids that love it. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And they're influenced by the culture.
Yeah, I was just talking to Gil about that, where it came from, and even in the hood, like you still had some white families in there too, sprinkled in the midst.
Yeah.
It was multicultural. It was Hispanic. It was black. It was white. It was, like...
It was mostly black and Hispanic.
Black and Hispanic, yeah. But you have some, like in some neighborhoods, you did have some.
Yeah.
People lower class that couldn't afford it. It wasn't all like just, like there wasn't like not one single, white family. In certain areas, not all areas, but certain areas. Because you have certain people, especially up north, like if you go to like, let's say Worcester, there's some dudes that are straight white and like straight hood.
Yeah.
Straight hood.
Yeah.
And they're like respected like Like, yo,
I don't know. Like,
no
for me,
color. Like,
I've
man,
always
that
had
dude
a-
is.
I've always had an issue with even like describing the color part of the culture, because I'm like, yo, if you could if you can appreciate the music and you love the music and you have a drive for it, a desire for it, a talent for it, then it shouldn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't matter whether they're white, black, Indian. You know what I'm saying? Because just like, if, for an example, just throwing it out there right now, if you go to China, hip hop is way more popping over there than anywhere. They actually have more respect than we do where it actually came from. You go to hip hop over there and it's no joke. It could be a no-name rapper and they treat him like
man,
celebrity status.
Yeah,
like, yo, the fact that you rap on stage is enough. Like, that's crazy. You know, and I've heard so many rappers that have traveled. They're like, yo, they didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
But they treated me like I was
we
Kanye West.
We knew rappers that actually toured.
Yeah. So I'm
for
saying,
3
I know
months,
artists that have gone
3 months a year, and like they're set for the year,
and they're good
they
because
bounce. Nobody
they
even
much
knows.
respect.
Like nobody, like they just bounce for 3 months in the summertime, and boom, they're enough.
And it's the truth, because
enough to feed them for the year.
I've been around long enough to know, and I've performed long enough to know. If you don't have a name, people are like, you go to a venue,
especially
and
in
like,
America. You know what I mean?
That's just how
especially
it is.
here.
But yo, out there in those countries, they live that hip hop.
Yeah, bro.
Well, I mean, when it comes to like other cultures, hip
that's
hop
why I
is a
believe
great
it's
tool,
like-
right? Because in the beginning,
To
it
unify.
communicated a situation that was going on in a particular demographic.
Right.
So at first, I mean, they
It's
were
a
just
good way
getting
to
down, they were
express yourself.
dancing, but when that rap element came into it,
Yeah.
they started rapping about the ills of their society, their
Right,
communities,
right.
and
Started
stuff like that.
exposing all that
And
stuff.
then when it started becoming a business, they delineated, they just went the other way with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they try to find things that could be marketable, and we know that money,
They made
sex,
it,
drugs,
the
power.
corporations, The corporations got a handle
Yeah.
of it, and they were
Right.
like, "Yo, how
It was like,
can we profit?
Yep.
And how do we monopolize? And how do we corner the market?
Yep.
And how do we take control of this?"
But not only that, there are
So they
some more
recycle artists,
there are
and they
some
don't
more
care.
conspiratory elements to it too. If you ever got into like the whole gangster rap thing and how it came about, I'll spare you guys that conversation to afterwards, because I know we got other
You
things
can't
to
be
talk
dropping
about.
gems like that.
Nah,
and
no,
move
go
on.
ahead, go ahead. We got time, man.
No,
it's 8:45.
I
we
mean,
got time.
man, I don't even have the source anymore, so
The
you
source?
could take
talking
it
about
with
the
a
magazine
no,
source? Or
nah.
was that
5
like
mics?
Was that like
5
dropping
mics.
hidden gems like in the magazine?
So there was I was
Speaking in code in the magazine to the hip hoppers out there.
right in the back,
Oh my
bro.
goodness.
Yo, it was like you had to uncover
Benzino
something.
was throwing hidden messages.
Yo, Brent, you would be that
Hip-hoppers
hip
assemble.
hop fanatic that would have
Find the
decipher,
code.
and you're like
Find the
deciphering.
code.
It's like, it's a
Yeah.
binary code.
Chill.
Okay.
But
hip hoppers assemble.
Hip-hop
so there was a meeting that
assemble.
like they wanted to go
our
forward and
raps
move to
combined.
this. They wanted to move forward to gangster rap.
Yeah.
And a lot of the dudes in the industry that were particularly minorities, like managers and stuff like that, they were like, "Nah, it's not something we want to put on the culture." And there was some people that was like, "Hey, if you're not down with this, you can leave," because this was actually a really serious business model. I forgot the guy's name. You could take it with a grain of salt if you want. I don't have any sources.
No, go ahead.
But like,
we're chopping it
but
up.
he was just like, basically people that own these labels, which are rich white people,
Yeah.
use gangster rap
Yep.
to show a side of people,
Yeah.
to manipulate the perception of the majority of those people. So they use gangster rap to represent basically a stereotype of all blacks.
So I hear a lot of people like say things like that, but I'm always like, who are these people behind these corporations that we never see? And do we know for a fact that it's the people that we think it is? You know
all
what
right,
I'm
you
saying?
could, you could say Jay-Z's part of Jeff Jam, but there's probably 50 other managers
You say
and
Jeff Jam?
Yeah.
so you know what I'm saying? You're not
Jeff.
gonna know, even if I said
Who's
a name.
Jeff?
If I said a name, you wouldn't even know anyway.
Yeah.
My name's
You know,
Jeff.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Jeff Jam.
My name's Jeff Jam.
So who are these people? Hey, they're rich millionaires, billionaires maybe, that own all the copyrights, own all these things. Like they own the record companies. So like when hip hop got started off, Sugar Hill Gang was one of the first recorded people. They didn't even have a record
Without
deals
Mike.
up until that point. You know what I'm saying? And they stole their own people's music. They like when that whole Sugar Hill Gang track came out.
Yeah,
he stole a whole verse from like Jam Master Caz or something like that.
Wow,
Grandmaster Caz. So
wow.
and but the story goes that he rapped it in the studio, but he didn't know he was being recorded because he was like, I didn't know he was. So they recorded it, packaged it, sold it, boom, they got the copyright because they was just playing it at parties,
bro.
And they heard
scary,
it,
bro. There's sharks out there, man.
Right.
You got to be careful,
right?
That's why you can't just go send your music out to anybody and just like you make sure that stuff is copywritten first, and you got you're protected before you just start sharing your stuff.
So if they think it'll sell, they'll sell it, and they don't care about the demographic, they don't care about the stereotype,
they
don't care about the culture,
like games they play.
It's
and
just
all kinds of
But
you don't think it's just driven by just greed? You think that there's like an ill intention to?
I think there's a
make
lot of
certain people.
I think a lot of people have different intentions. I think there are people that are just straight greedy. I think there are people that do want to paint different cultures in a different light.
Really?
You don't see certain cultures talking about drugs, sex, and murder as much as minority cultures in their music.
I don't. So you're talking about what? Come on, just say it.
I'm talking about what? I'm just talking about
because if you're talking about like white, like you talk rock and roll.
No, I
drugs,
mean,
sex, and rock and roll. like there's
who started rock and roll?
They have a culture too.
Who started rock and roll?
What do you mean? Am I supposed to say something biblical? Is this like
no?
Is this a biblical? Why do I feel like I was getting checked like on scripture?
I don't know.
Originally,
First Peter.
I don't think rock and roll was like a white music originally. It was a black music.
Really?
Yeah. It was
so you mean like
But the rock and roll as we understand today, in the 80s, they did some wild stuff. Ozzy Osbourne was like biting rats' heads off and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And he said they were real up until a certain point, but people got sick to their stomach, so they just got fake ones.
They got fake bats?
Bats or rats, yeah.
And they just biting them off.
Yeah, bro.
It's just for entertainment.
Oh, I watched the.
They treated those. They were like, make sure
it has no
rabies, and
he was heavily into the occult. So this is what I'm saying. And you can have musicians that are heavily into the occult. What makes you think the managers aren't? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or stuff like that. So you just.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
I mean, total depravity, man. I mean, we see a lot of things because of sin. You know what I mean? And we can't think because we haven't seen it or heard about it that it can't be real.
Old Scratch Daco.
Is
that what he put? Mike is really good when it comes to the history of hip hop. Yeah, word. I got to put the comments up there.
The Old Scratch.
I can do that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you can?
I can do that. Right? True that, brother. Yeah, no, I don't doubt it at all, bro. It's there's different agendas too. You know, you have people with different goals. Some people are just greedy. They just want to take. Some people just want to win. They don't even care about the money. Is just another way to flex that they're winning. Some people just want to dominate and win.
But on the ulterior, the other agenda is brothers like you and Gil and people that we talk to often trying to redeem the culture from having to hear and go through some of those things too.
To go with how to find your style to bring it full circle to what we're talking about. I looked at that recently. Like I looked at how the culture operates within the realm of the entertainment industry. And like, it's probably just common sense stuff, but I just really wanted to analyze like the whole idea that Christians are always 10 steps behind the world when it comes to anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you do shirt design and then for the most part, it's like, it's,
you're too late.
Or you do a production or you do an album or you do like, it's like always.
Things are so fast.
You do like,
you'd be like, it's already out.
Yeah, and
it's already invented.
Not just that, but also the skill. Like we're always like behind with skill, like production, like not so much now, but it's still like that sense of we don't have the millions that they have. Like we're not just hiring whoever we want. We ain't got choppers flying around and like you know what I'm saying. That's what I mean. Like it always feels like and so I looked at that. I looked at what they were doing, and I just. And I thought biblically, I was like, all right, let me look at this biblically. Let me stop just looking at surface level stuff. And when I looked at it like spiritually, because there's a part of me that's like, I know, I understand the spirit, but I want to look at practical things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I've been in a space in my past where I over spiritualized things to the point where it got really silly. So now I'm swaying in my maturity
You don't say.
away from stuff like that. But at the same time, I have to respect the fact that there is a spirit.
We're between two worlds, bro.
I have
you know?
to respect that fact.
Yeah.
But there's a part of me that's like very strong. Like, come on, man, don't be silly with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, get that out of here. So I looked at spirit. I looked at spirit motive. What's the motive? The influence spiritually. And I just saw a whole bunch of people just desiring to glorify their gods.
Yeah, true. When you look
to
at
the
it,
best of their ruthless. They're ruthless with what they do. They will sacrifice sleep, time, relationships. They will cut people out of they'll cut their own mother out their life so that way they can succeed in the world as rappers. They'll live the torn life and never have time for any personal life whatsoever just to maintain that status, that look.
You know, now that you're saying that, I think one of the reasons why we seem to be a step behind is because we're not full of as much compromise.
Yo, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
So we're not going to compromise and cave to certain things. So I mean, there's rappers out there in Christian hip hop that could hold their own. If he was like, yo, if he was secular, you know,
if he was
right. Like he could hold it down in that whole arena because it's a bigger, right?
Yes, yo, that's so foul though. Come on,
I'm just saying, let's be
that's
real
sad.
though.
Don't do that.
Let's just be real. But
don't do that.
But I'm talking about
no,
like
I have to fight again. Can I oppose that real quick?
Yeah,
why?
Can I please
I
oppose
need to know
that?
why.
Because I have a disagreement here.
Okay, what is that?
I think I said this on the show last week or at some point, but I talked about David, and I talked about how the Lord used David and his harp playing to actually appease or cast out this spirit that was oppressing King Saul.
Yep. Which means he
and
was
David
very
was the
talented.
only one that can play the harp in such a way that that demon was oppressed and like cast it out. Like he was the only one that could do that. The power of God, because that wasn't the power of David. It wasn't like he was such an expert. No, it was God blessing him in that moment to play that harp in such a way that it did something amazing. And I think, because we have seasons, right? We have seasons and times, and there's a time for everything, right? And how long are those seasons for? You know, how do we know that in Christianity now, for the next 30 years, we're going to be wrestling with a certain specific thing as a universal body? Like in the grand scheme of things,
right?
In this time period that we live in now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that way. I'm like, where are our blind spots universally? And why is it that I struggle with art and glorifying God? And I'm like, I can't help sometimes, but I'm like, God, just use me through this because I want to talk and I desire to create and I can't shake this. So use this for us to do something here. And I can't help but feel like that conviction, like there's something I'm missing here and I'm compelled to talk about it. So I'm looking back and I'm looking at the world and observing, and I'm on this mission to try to create awesome art and do all these great things, you know what I mean, with art. And I look at them and now just simply, what is the motive of why they're trying to win ruthlessly? What is the motive of why they're trying to, and I just saw simplistic, you know, just simply, I just never looked at it with simplicity. And let me look at it simplistic, in a simplistic view. I know I'm jacking that up,
right?
Whatever, but I saw just that.
Condense
and
it
so
down.
it convicted me, and in the moment, it just so happened that God shattered my ambition, my pride in that moment, and then I didn't care about anything. The moment I didn't care, the moment I let go of caring,
you felt free.
About, dude. Not only did I feel free, but that's the moment that I created a song that I feel now moving forward equipped me in such a way that's I'm going to be going a whole different direction that I'm excited about. But in this process, it wasn't like, oh man, I'm so dope now. In the process, it was like, oh, I have an understanding that I think a lot of creatives can use.
In Christians, in general, just apply it.
Yes.
You know?
Well, it is very much Christians because it was a lesson learned with biblical truth and wrestling with ambition and pride and all these things. And what I simply realized is just this on this topic. Should you even care about creative style? Should you even care? Yeah. So let me ask you, if you own a restaurant, should you even care about how you present your meals? Should you even care about how your customer service is? Should you even care about the signs and the way it looks, the way it smells, cleaning, make sure there's no
colors on the walls?
Could you
No burgers.
Should you even care? Of course you should care. Every little minute detail, not for the motive for you to be praised for your work ethics and your restaurant, not for that, but solely for the purpose of glorifying God and submitting all things that you do to him.
Amen.
All things. And now with that mindset for the creative, I kindly say, respect the art. Respect the art. Don't just slap raps over a beat, because you know what that is? You're slapping some McDonald's burgers and some nasty stuff together, and you're just serving people slop. Don't slap 16 over a beat. Care about what you're doing. Care about how if you're jumping in the booth and rapping, you're not just saying words in a mic. You are using your vocal cords, whether you like it or not. You are a recording artist.
Yep.
So respect the sound of your tone. Respect the sound of that's coming out of your mouth. If you don't have a sound that's pleasing to the ear, or maybe a lot of people say, you know what, you're a dope writer, but I have a hard time listening to you, then respect the art, respect the craft, swallow your pride, know your lane, and master that lane. And then on the side, you're free to dabble with that. You're free to record. Ain't nobody gonna, stop you from recording and do what you do. Just don't be upset about it and try to force something that ain't real. Respect the craft. When it comes to rap, I don't like this. I want to kill this. I want this, my mission to be this. I want to kill this. We tend to just categorize somebody who is a vocal recording artist that says rap syllables without melodies, that says words without melody, as just rapper. But you're a songwriter before you even step in that booth and say a single word in that microphone. Number one, you're a songwriter. That's a different skill set. Yep. So master the skill set of songwriting. Mm-hmm. That includes arrangements, intro, pre-chorus, chorus. You want to do this to the glory of God? Learn what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Know what you're doing. You're a songwriter first.
And nobody goes, man, I want to be a carpenter. I should buy some wood and build
I'm good.
a house.
The hammer? That's it?
Yeah, you're songwriter first. Imagine us, to the glory of God, we're going to help this homeless person. We just slap concrete everywhere and we just build a mountain of concrete. Like, know what you're doing.
What did you want to get at when you said, when you wanted to kind of combat what I said about a Christian rap would be dope if he was secular?
Fire. Thank you. Right. Full circle. So before I get there, you're not just a rapper. I just want to make sure, I want to reiterate that. You're not just a rapper. You're a songwriter first. When you get in the booth, you're a recording artist. Don't just get in there and yell songs in the mic. That's what I'm speaking to me. Like, I'm yelling at myself too in my past. Cause I feel like, real talk. I feel like before this song came out, I feel like there was a blind spot, major blind spot. And I was trying to sound appealing. And I thought in my head, the more aggressive you sound, the more you yell with conviction, the more people are gonna, and I'm trying to tickle ears and not knowing it, not willingly, not like I'm intentionally doing this. No, I just thought this is what it means to glorify God. Yell, godly things in the mic. No, respect the craft. So anyway, there's different parts to that. You're not just
put some
rapper,
respect on the craft.
Real for the artists out there.
Learn the art of making music.
The artists out there that want to be a bit more experimental. I mean, the Bible says it like this: all things are permissible, but all things are beneficial. Amen. You got to recognize when you're not good at something. You know what I'm saying?
So let me read these comments real quick because I don't want to miss them all. Michael,
shout them out.
Thank you guys for rocking with us, man. Facebook is love you guys.
Michael says, I've done that before, bro. Forcing what's not my lane. Gotta stay within my lane / skills. For sure. And then Jasmine Jones says, amen. And that applies on so many levels. We can apply that to any aspect of our lives, whether we're creative, work a 9-to-5, work at home, etc. All these things provide us many opportunities to honor God.
Yeah, amen. In all areas.
Jasmine always got the fire commentary, man.
I miss Jasmine, man. I'm sorry. I'm glad we're back on Facebook so we could communicate back and forth again. Love the engagement. Love you guys.
But it's true. Like, we should be seeking to be the best at everything that we do. Whether it's, like she said, 9-to-5, or it's within our walk, or, at home with our spouses, with our children. You should always be seeking to be at your best, because it is to honor God.
Amen.
that is our response to God.
Yeah.
Amen.
So yeah, I have creative tip. Yeah. Okay. So what you said, real quick, and then we'll jump into our feature track.
Let's do it. I want to hear it.
I think that we have a major blind spot, and I'll be prideful to think that I'm the only one that revealed it. But as in my own personal walk, I've revealed something to myself that I didn't know. And I've been in this genre for how long? Yelling at people and starting fires and trying to, I've been at this for a minute and I had a blind spot here.
Mario was a former ogre that was throwing Bibles.
Shrek.
Put it this way.
Underneath the bridge.
Can I share this and not be prideful? Can we just do this for the presentation?
Let's do it.
I'm going to change it. I'm going to change
Are you sidetracking? Because I really wanted to hear what you had to say.
This is an example.
All right.
This is an example.
Really
there's a song, there's a Christian hip hop song that Gil and I have heard, right? That's very, very full of conviction. It's just dope. It's a dope track. Okay. Gil took this song, right? Brought it to his brother, who's not a believer, right? And showed him this. And he's an artist. He's around music all the time. He's in and out of studios, almost got signed. Mm-hmm. He flew out. Like he's very talented. Shout out to your brother.
Possibly
man.
could still get signed. Who knows?
And class, man. Kev Young. We love you, brother. We can shout him out, right?
Yeah. My brother. Kev Young, love you, man.
And he heard the song, Christian song. And he said, yo, goosebumps. And he lifted his arm and showed him his arm. Legit, it hairs on. Tell the story, bro. You tell it.
No, I just wanted to show my brother this track because it's a phenomenal track. It's it's a song that is super powerful and it's even blessed me in so many ways.
What's the track?
No, just
it's not important for this story.
Yeah, I'll tell you after, Brent.
The story is that it was a religious track to him. It's religious,
right.
Because he doesn't follow the faith or anything, so he just heard it for what it was, and for him to respond that way, I thought it was super dope. And what struck me, because I'm like, man, what's the difference between this song and all the other songs I've ever showed him, And he's always been like, oh, that's dope. Oh, yeah, that's cool. But I've never heard him respond that way.
Mm-hmm.
So in looking at it, the only difference I can see is that the difference between this song and most songs is that this song is truly in capturing an emotion and describing it in a way where you can really connect to it. Where most songs nowadays, it's just describing things.
Right.
Whether it's a female, whether it's clubbing, whether it's whatever, they're always describing my car, my this, my that, this. So it's hard for us to connect with it unless you're rich and you have those things. Then you can kind of connect, and it's still superficial level because you're just like
relatively disposable.
I got a car too. Yeah, I got that whip.
Surface.
Yeah, I got that jewelry.
Shadow.
Yeah,
and
we've
talked about this, Mario.
But when you have something that wrenches your heart and like grabs you
to the core
and
of your
shakes
soul.
you,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And it could be a song that's positive too. I've had positive songs that do that, but
it's coming. It's coming, brother.
Centered song.
But me and Mario have talked about this before, and you was like, what makes a song effective? And I said, when you can match the emotion and the mood of the beat to the emotion in the lyrics,
the production,
when
and you unify them as one,
and you're not just trying to write to a beat, but when it communicates to you in a certain sense.
You're talking full production. You're talking full
overall, and sometimes
that's production.
And sometimes it happens when somebody just makes a beat and gives it to you, and then you feel the beat, you understand that beat, and you're like, all right, that beat makes me feel this way, and I'm gonna go ahead and follow that emotion, so that way I can communicate it when I'm rapping, right? So that's vitally important. That's why, to me, a lot of music now, and in general, Christian, non-Christian, is disposable to me. I'll listen to that album once or twice, but it's just,
I got you.
Especially hip hop, it's just cats rapping over the beat.
Yo, and real quick,
I'm connecting with you, bro. I know what you mean.
For my YouTube listeners and for my Facebook listeners, if you guys have a track that has done that to you, yo, drop a link. You know what I mean?
Facts, yeah.
Share that song.
Something that's giving you goosebumps, made you drop tears, just listening to the song.
And a lot of times,
love to know.
And a lot of times for people, it's something that happens to relate to them or relate to how they think, what they believe, a tragedy, a triumph, so emotionally, if you can't connect with your music, it's just fodder to me.
Stop there. Emotionally, you said emotionally, if you can't connect with your music, it's beyond that. I love where you're going.
Right.
spiritually. Spiritually. So I look at the world, right? They do, they take music serious. Like their studios are legit like sanctuaries. Some of them will actually burn incense. Some of them do take drugs just to be inspired and blinded and
Right.
receptive to certain things and motives and whatnot.
Yes, sir.
In order to create, they truly do whatever it takes to get into that space of creativity, and then they make this amazing. And then each
to their God.
And if that person can't sing right, they can't create the song, they can't write, they'll have a team of songwriters. I don't want to reiterate myself. We understand most of the creatives know how this works, right? But now you take the Christian. We go on SoundCloud, we find a beat, it's trap, we buy it, we rap over it. That's what I'm saying. Like, the Christian should be in the same way that they do. They take what belongs to God, right? They take what's supposed to be honorable and glorifying God. They take it and they use everything in their power, every cent, every investment,
but you
every
know what,
source
Mario,
of energy,
as well,
every expert to glorify their God. We, on the other side, along with being responsible, I know that's key. That's not the point. The point is not being as ruthless and relentless and as ambitious as them. That's not the message. The message is taking it serious. That's the message, taking it serious. So, in other words, if you do not have the funds to afford awesome production and you're stuck with the choices of doing a half job, or you're going to have to you're going to have to, you're going to have to jeopardize some commitment to your family. You're going to have to do some ungodly things with your time in order to achieve what you're trying to achieve over here. And then you weigh out those options. But it's always best to not, if you don't have the funds, if you don't have the time to move forward, then that's a clear indication that that's not a blessing for you to move forward at that time. That's why you don't just jump off the cliff blindfolded. You're supposed to have a plan. You don't just jump and risk it all. You know what I'm saying? So if it's not meant for you to go that far, respect that and serve faithfully where you're at with all you got, and try to master the little bit that you have. And let God be the one to unfold it in God's time. Literally, I know this is such like no-brainer, like but bro, you get blinded, you get lost, and you got the gurus that say jump off that cliff. Right. You got to, if you believe in yourself, then you got to, it sounds like
real talk.
When homeboy told Jesus, jump off that cliff, the angels won't let you.
Everything.
Doesn't that sound like that?
Well, I was thinking too, like, but if you're an artist and you don't have the resources, and all you could do is buy a $25 rental beat on SoundClick or SoundCloud or whatever it is, and all you could do is be an outreach rapper, but be nice on those beats. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and be content with that.
But if you're not a major artist, I mean, sometimes we look at people with limited resources doing their thing, and you're like, oh man, that's just really not good art. But they don't have the resources and technology that some people have to make it better, sound better, or they can't add as many elements. They don't have the pockets.
Right.
So that doesn't mean the talent's not there, but it just means like, if you're like, when it's different when you're a secular rapper and you got humble beginnings and you ain't got much of an audience, it's not really worth much. But you could, as a Christian, if you're just like an outreach rapper, don't look at that as like, oh man, I'm not doing much. Like when I used to rap back in the day, I had kids asking me for autographs. I didn't even know these kids. They never heard my music. The first time I ever heard it, it was live, and they were encouraged by it. So like, don't think because you haven't made it substantially that God is not using it.
What I realize is that if you just focus on mastering where you're at, and be faithful with what's in front of you without compromising what's in front of you, and you truly desire to glorify Him, these natural recommendations and natural suggestions or natural practices or principles or whatever you want to call it, they will unfold when you try to glorify God, like you don't have to, all the gurus are saying are stuff that's biblical principles. That's what I mean. Yeah. Like the gurus are saying, make sure you follow up and be authentic and real with your relationships. We know that. Why are we going to the gurus for this information that we already know?
Right, yeah.
Be real. I hear gurus that are getting paid some thousands of dollars to be, so that people can sit with them and for them to tell them, and for them to tell them, make sure you follow up with your text messages at a prompt time. Make sure you
send email.
Make sure you say thank you.
They usually just
make sure you show appreciation.
Listen, if you're spending $1,000 to go see a guru, just so you know, there's thousands. There's tons of free information online. Tons of it.
And open up your Bible, man. Right. If you just follow the basic principles that the Lord has given us, you will not all the time prosper. It's not all the time, but for the most part, number one, you will actually all the time you will prosper. Not in the way that we define it, in a way that builds up treasures to God. Let's cut that out. Let's see beyond just the temporary. Matter of fact, every time you win when you glorify God. Why do we always look at temporary stuff? Like why are we always like, oh, you'll get a reward if you do this in the next life, and you should celebrate that. Every time you honor God, it's glorifying God. You win every time. We're gonna end with that. How about that?
Yeah, what's next, my dude?
Yo, feature track. We're gonna jump into
being a dead horse. Brother.
That was
dope, though.
I love you, man. That was dope.
That
all right, cool.
like you was gonna slap somebody at the end of that.
This is we up next. How do you pronounce the name? Yo,
I'm sorry, bro. I don't want to.
I think it's Yuda.
Disrespect.
Yahuda. We up next, Yahuda. Here we go. He probably says it in the rap. We'll hear it here.
Probably.
And then we'll come back and talk some more about some things. Where's the feature? Here we go.
Thanks.
We up next.
The scepter won't depart from him, y'all. We gotta let the whole world know. We up next. 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 Their time is up. The scepter won't depart from him, y'all. We gotta let the whole world know. We up next. 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 Their time is up.
We worldwide, every brother for one another representing the 4 tribe. Thunderbolts full of folks come alive. Fist up, the revolution is televised. Up and through, caution the wind, asking the cause and effect. Heart full of sickness, past the elixir. Read the scripture with understanding the after failures redemption. We the dungeon family, meet outcasts. Got outcasts to a dungeon in a strange land. Secret swordsmen revealed in the badlands. Afro samurai, we the chosen. Running to the hood, tell the people. 3 times, no lie, hard a cockroach. Peter Pickle got himself into a pickle. Keep this page out, we the people.
Right now they got us on the bottom, but I'm telling you that we up next. Yes. When the time come, they won't know what hit them. Unusual suspects. Right now they cut checks to the people greedy again. But encouragement to my kinfolk, cause your suffering ain't in vain. I see kings, I see priests, I see the risen of our slain. I see power, I see peace, I see the sunlight with no rain. I see the greatness of our majesty and how we rules again. And this right here offer you if you endure to the end.
The scepter won't depart from him, y'all. We gotta let the whole world know. We up next. 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 Their time is up. The scepter won't depart from him, y'all. We gotta let the whole world know. We up next. 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 Their time is up.
Young Silver, born to be king and contender, the seed of the creator, the limber, snared in the Janus agendas. War for the sheepfold, them timbers. Enemies evil like Mendez, but we KJ with defenders and no longer slaves to the lenders. Cause of Yah will avenge us, so we cry out when we end this. Time's up, down to the wild like Baltimore. So we raise the most high, cause we on the go. With a standard like Taz, that's protocol. You can see I.E. like Quantico. Rise, cause we roll in the path. Cleansed by the blood in the bath. Holding the staff, war we walk through the path. Crown plus king to the back.
Y'all see my team pointing at our wrist, boy, time's up, cut it. Abraham seed coming through deep, got the whole spot flooded. You can love it or leave it, just believe it when you hear it, yeah, we up next. As the body connects, bone to bone, and rise above the dust, come on. It was written in stone, all power to the people of Yah. Everything they got, that's shown. What was last is the first, and we thirst for the blood. It's a hell of a drug. We beneath only one thing, covenant, that's what's up. All praise to the
cut out there, but yep, Yahuda.
Yahuda.
We up next. Shout out to him.
Yeah. That's a dope track.
Yahuda. I was just telling Brent.
Say it.
I was just telling Brent. That's one thing that I like about Mumble, because we know that Brent is a Mumble fan.
Huge.
And I was just telling Brent that, you know, one of the things that I appreciate about Mumble is how it introduced melody.
Yep.
But don't get it twisted. I am not a hater of it. I'm just not
a lover of it.
That's not really. I mean, you know, when you get older, you know how it is.
We gotta clarify Mumble. Mumble is not trap, right? Mumble is not trap, right? Is trap Mumble? Or trap is its own thing?
I think it could be two different things, because
those
Mumble rappers have rapped on regular beats too.
Is it Trumble? Trumble rap?
How many categories of rap?
Yo, we're supposed
yo, you hip hop head. How many categories of rap is there?
My God,
I don't know, dog. I mean, that's like Goya beans,
Southern,
bro. There's Southern,
East
there's
Coast,
West Coast,
boom bap.
There's Midwest, there's boom bap, there's gangsta, there's
come on.
In America, I mean, there's trap, there's mumble, there's the rap and R&B.
Eclectic rap.
Yeah, there's folk rap.
Folk rap?
Yeah. Arrested Development, remember that?
What?
Take me to another place. Let me forget up. Yo, and beautiful eulogy kind of.
Mr. Window.
Yeah. Yo, that was the jam.
Mr. Window, yeah.
Yo, he still be going hard for the Lord too.
What?
Speech, yep.
No.
Yes, sir.
Can we get him on the show?
I don't know.
He's a Christian rapper?
Oh, I mean, he's a believer, bro. I mean, he been talking about.
Yo, you
been talking about Christ since that album. What you talking about?
All right, go. Wow. I'll let you do your thing, man.
That's great. Whoa, it's an interesting conversation.
No,
you guys are like,
I don't know that.
listen.
Mr. Window.
Matthew 24. Let's get in it.
Yeah. How's it going?
Lord, I really been real stressed, down and out, losing friends. Although I am black and proud, all these other suckers be pessimistic. Go back to the place you came, my family tree, my family. Oh, some strange reason that has to be. You guided me to Tennessee. Take me to another place, New Jerusalem. Take me to another.
I love it, man.
That was a jam, right?
That's
that was a
fire,
banger.
Bro. That's fire.
Yo, and that's the thing. Their own lane back in the day. Their own lane.
Yeah.
There was nobody like them.
Nah, they stayed true to themselves, man. They made their own lane. That's fire.
They were hanging clothes on a clothesline in the video.
They were just chilling. They didn't care.
Yo.
All right, man.
Yo, where we
that
at?
was dope. Thanks for that.
Where we at? Yeah, that was fun.
That was fire.
Everybody watching us like... It's 2020.
I'm sure everybody's like, why are they singing that?
They're like, those dudes are old.
Those dudes are washed.
Those dudes are washed.
Dudes are washed.
You're an adult diaper.
Because we sang.
Get off the stage.
What's the name of the show again? I forgot, man.
Chinese food.
Chinese takeout. Chinese takeout.
Yeah, the names of this show are my favorite.
All right, Gills.
So but I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the times, but it's getting crazy out there, man. I already saw, like, in a matter of 3 days, there was like 3 volcanic eruptions on top of all the crazy stuff that's already happened in this world. 3 volcanic eruptions.
Yeah.
One in the Philippines, one in Japan, and one in Mexico.
Yep.
You guys hear about that?
It's a weather
I have heard about
weather
it.
report.
Yep.
Marrio Esco Live weather report.
It's all over the news.
No, it's crazy, bro.
I got all the Christians posting it up like,
I did see
the
that.
Lord is coming.
Yo, they made a collage.
The Lord is thine coming.
They made a collage of all the, like, natural disasters and hints at war, and they were like, yo, rough start to 2020.
For real.
2020 vision. What's going
Rough start.
What's going on?
This vision is not so clear.
Do you think that when they said, like, the days of Noah, did you think that meant technology as well?
I don't know.
Or is that
nobody can ever know?
Am I just assuming here?
For sure.
Well,
you think at some point we already had, like,
there's a growing community of scientists that believe that there was technology
advanced
before, like, recorded history.
Really?
Yeah. So before before the days of Noah, when everything was just flooded out. Yeah, Noah. Noah. You know when you get a clogged nose, you be no, bruh. Go wet my lips a little bit. Now I could say
That's when
Noah.
the pastor comes over, tries to lay his hands on you. No,
Yeah, but
bruh.
some people believe that there was technology. Even in Egypt, there was technology. And
They had to have had some kind of technology building pyramids the way they did, all perfect and symmetrical.
Well, there are some people that believe that they had electricity. Like, there was no wire. It was just you was a conduit for it because of the atmosphere and stuff like that, and the gold. That's why they would wear tons of gold, not because they were necessarily royalty, but because it was a conductor of electricity and they could use it mobily.
What?
Right.
What?
I'm saying there's a
You
growing.
bringing some gems. I never
Listen
heard
closely.
of.
Listen closely. There's a growing community of scientists that believe this. Understand?
I got you.
This is not
Brent
my
is a
own.
weirdo,
This is
man.
not my own.
But the fact that you
Brent is
found this is
All right,
is the intriguing part.
So what?
Like, where did you find this?
So what does the bracelets power up? Like what?
Well, it's.
So is this why rappers buy all this gold?
What are they doing?
Because they're getting electrical power?
No, they trying to.
Is it like they light up the pyramids when they walk in or something?
The pyramids themselves apparently are superconductors of energy. You know, from the atmosphere and from below. Apparently, there was aqueducts that ran under the pyramids from the Nile.
Look at this.
And those things.
Man.
So I don't know how it necessarily worked. I haven't seen the video in a while on how the guy was presenting it, but that's what I remember.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was
You are
possible.
definitely the king of
They were doing brain
randomness.
surgery and stuff like that. So it's like there might have been a level of
Do
certain
you think
things that
when he talks about the days of Noah, it's referring to technology?
Oh,
or what do you think it's referring to?
I just think it's referring to sin, basically.
Oh, so just like rampant, everybody just a hot mess.
Everyone's doing what's right in their own eyes.
I mean, we're there, right?
Yeah,
we're there.
basically.
We are there now.
Are there any holy sanctified places left? like,
You mean
like
there's
the Council of Dort? Like
the Council of Dort. Wow.
You know, like little slices of heaven on the
Does
earth.
this place
The
exist?
Council
Is
of
the
Dort.
Garden of Eden still available for wedding ceremonies? I'm trying to get married before I
Yo,
go.
if they ever found
Yo.
the Garden of Eden, you know somebody's
I
gonna
gotta
want to
hit a
use it
button.
for their wedding.
There it is.
Bling bling.
They'll be like, oh
Yo.
my god, my Instagram is gonna be in the Garden of Eden.
You don't know if they found it.
Yeah.
First of all,
You
they would
know
not-
people are gonna be like,
Ain't
oh, I
nobody
want to
gonna
put my
find it.
wedding there. It's where life started. Think
I'm
about
so-
it. The parallels of marriage.
and you see
It's
the
where life
you see the background, the
started.
angel that with the sword that's guarding. He's all heated.
He's like,
Again,
I gotta work OT.
Why they find this?
Yo, you're tired of getting OT with no time and a half.
I thought you said they weren't gonna find this. This
I
is
thought
like
you said they were gonna find
take
this.
pictures in
And
front of
someone's
the
like, oh, I'm so hungry. I can't wait to go to the Garden of Eden. I'm so hungry. I want to go to Garden of
Yo,
Eden.
these apples are straight out of the Garden of Eden. Don't eat them.
Don't eat them.
No, not those.
Don't eat them. What?
Jezebel just bringing fruit baskets out like, yo. Got this,
Those
bro.
apples.
See, this is a
Don't
skit.
eat
This is another skit
applesauce,
right now,
apples,
man.
man.
Apple cider.
Apple cider.
pie.
Yo,
Don't eat nothing apple.
don't eat no apple pie. Don't eat
Yo, bro.
Don't eat no apple.
As a matter of
juice.
fact,
Why would there be
Don't be
apple
drinking
pie?
no
It's a good
apple
place
in
to
the
fast.
Garden of Eden.
Just
okay?
ready. Just ready.
Why are there
Mario, it's a
apple
good place to
pies?
fast. Don't eat.
Yo, and,
Why they got apple pies here? No wonder why.
and every single stand is a dude in red with a tail with
my
horns.
So
Goodness,
Mario
bro.
really wants to
Apples,
know,
you
Gil.
have some pies.
What Mario really wants to know is, are we living in the days of Noah? Because there's wars and rumors of wars,
I go to
kingdom
Hazakim
against
for that.
kingdom.
I'm like, Hazakim, where are we?
Yeah,
Where
bro.
are we?
Yeah, I love their
What
commentary on
part of
stuff like that.
Revelation are we in, Hazakim?
Yeah, they're hip to it though. They
They are.
break it down
No,
real
real
well.
talk.
Yeah, they're smart.
He started a podcast, by the way. Shout out to Hazakim. He has a new podcast that he's with.
Yeah.
It's called, what is it? Politics and Crust.
Really?
Yeah. Religion and politics.
Something like that.
Religion and politics? Yo.
I tagged you in it, I thought.
Nope.
Bro, it's fire.
You probably didn't tag me because I'm really not on social media much. So
I did tag you. I
Did
knew
you?
you
I'm
would
gonna have
love
to
the
check
podcast.
it out because
I'm
not
hey,
into politics because I find it.
I'm
No,
subscribing right now.
Did you
Well,
hear it?
I have not, but I want to check it out because of him.
I'll tell you this.
Because I
I'll
like Hazakim.
tell you this. It's not my cup of tea in this season of my life right now. You get what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But when I heard it, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, tag me.
I'm
because I
gonna
can't
save
find it.
that link. And when I'm ready to, because I can't consume everything, dude. Like, I can't jump to a new podcast right now at this moment. But when I heard it, I was like, definitely got to peep this from time to time. Solid,
I definitely
man.
want to check it out because I'm not a huge
It's
fan of
Tonio.
politics.
It's Tonio.
I used to be into politics, but here's the thing to me about politics. Once you understand the game, you don't even need to follow it no more because they do the same thing
Yo,
all
somebody knows the show.
time.
Can you please put the link in there?
Yeah, they do the same thing all the time with politics. Politics is the worst religion in the world, man. It's the dirtiest game.
crazy,
It's
man.
the dirtiest
This is
game.
too much, man.
So you know where it's going.
Every time I hear conversations, I get so confused by all the jargon.
You don't know what.
And I'm just like, you lost
Where's
me
the real news? Where's the
10
fake
minutes
news?
ago. You know what I
You got to
mean?
do homework now for news.
Yeah, man.
You got to verify,
Well, you
double
gotta-
verify,
well-
triple verify.
Well, you got to surpass all the fake stuff just to get to the real stuff.
Yo,
you
and
know what I'm saying?
sometimes the main news channels get the fake stuff, and
Oh.
then you'll see them all
What do you
with
mean?
the same.
Sometimes.
Oh well, a lot of times, and then you see
What you mean a lot of times?
and then you
Most of the time.
Yeah, okay, I got
You just
you.
most of the time, bro.
This dude about to kill me right now.
Just, hey, we love y'all. We want you to know the truth.
I wish you could have like, your teeth.
No, but what I'm
right there.
saying is sometimes they get caught like red-handed. And
Yeah.
they all have the same title, same description. Same.
Oh.
It's like somebody emailed blast
Yep.
all the news
Oh,
reporters.
I've seen those clips where everybody's saying the exact
Same
thing.
thing.
Yep.
The exact. It's all scripted.
Yeah, every single thing, and they're covering the same story, and they're saying the
It's like the
exact
Mario
same
Esco
say
Live
that
when we're on
it's
multiple
a
platforms.
script.
Yeah,
they
it's a-
say
it's
it.
a script that they
Dallas,
passed on
you can
to
get it
all
in
of them.
Dallas or Boston. It's going to be the same script, different
Facts.
accent.
Facts.
Just crazy.
Yep. Good story, Gil. Thank you.
Yeah. So
What else is going on?
Well, I got a little bit of some brighter news.
Can we segue
You know?
back to what we was going to
We got to segue out of here in 2
We
minutes.
got to segue back
We got to
to
segue in 2 minutes.
Actually, in 4.
So they found some plants, man, growing in Australia.
Whoa, what kind of plants?
After all the burning, like, well, they're growing from everywhere, from the ground,
Oh,
from
okay.
trees.
Time out.
like
Give
this-
some
in
context.
the ashes.
Give some context. Give
In
some context.
Australia,
For those
you
that don't know.
most of the continent was burnt down.
Yep.
So
By-
they're now starting to see life growing in the midst of the ashes, which is
Yeah.
super dope. So that's encouraging to know that even though they lost so much,
It's already
animals
starting
have
to
died.
grow.
It seems like the ecosystem is trying to come
Well,
back.
here's an
in the
interesting
midst of all
fact.
that darkness and nastiness.
Interesting fact
Crazy.
about that: the
Amen.
plants growing when there's a large scale burning of a forest or a volcanic eruption, it ends up making
More fruitful.
the soil much more healthier, fruitful, and for vegetation to survive and thrive.
That's crazy.
So, like a lot of times, you see the California fires and stuff like that. You see all that land that's scorched, but in a couple years, all that residue seeps into the soil. Actually, it makes it better.
Yeah.
So,
More-
like the soil's
fertile.
not depleted. Yeah, it's a stronger. It just whatever it does, it fortifies the soil.
Wow. So
It's just one of those things in life. You feel the heat in life, but once you get through it, you might be fortified a little bit more, so that way you can grow in those conditions.
Yo,
And,
that's
you know.
encouraging, man.
They're super encouraging.
Actually, that's for any situation,
Right.
man. Actually, you could take that as an allegorical thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's the process of life. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to get deep. You know what I mean?
No, that
Trying to
like,
get
no, that's,
deep,
that's fire,
son.
bro. That's fire, man. I
trying
love
to
that.
deep dive.
You know,
bro.
I noticed that about myself.
Was
I
that deep dive
dive too
button?
much.
Was that deep dive
It's
button?
right here, man. Come on, man.
That's the one I'm telling you. He never. He
The one that
never
don't
put
work?
it in. He's trying to blame it on the
Aw,
button that
man,
don't work.
see.
But there was no deep dive.
What is that?
There's
Hey, really?
that.
Hey, yo, that
Oh, this
applause.
better boo. How about that?
That applause.
Yeah, the boo's better.
That
I like
applause
that.
was so long, bro. It sounded like a
Nothing worse than getting
waterfall.
booed by children.
It was like the water was just. It was Willy
Yeah.
Wonka's chocolate factory churning chocolate in the background. Just that was the longest applause segment I ever heard, bro.
Which one? What are you talking about?
When you got the extended applause, bro,
extended
lasted
You want me to play it?
applause,
lasted
man.
the whole list of all the sponsors.
I know. You want me to play
Facts.
it?
No,
That's why he said. That's why he
I'm gonna
did
play
it.
it.
He said, and I quote, "My finger was getting tired from hitting it so many times when I was rattling
kind of
off,
finger, bro. It's,
the all the partners. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
He's like,
all
I had to
right.
hit it like
We
3
got womp,
times.
womp, womp.
He's like, so now I could just be like, bang, one time.
you got to get
We
one of
got
those
that.
finger dumbbells and just.
Wow.
When those vice grips.
Yo, We up to an hour and a half now. We're about to cut out. It was a blessing rocking with y'all. As you can see, we're back on Facebook, and I'm thankful, man. Tonight was definitely a confirmation for me that we made the right move.
Yep.
I appreciate all the engagement. I love y'all, and I'm looking forward to continue to serve y'all as we continue to build this out.
Yes,
we
sir.
do have plans to expand the team. Actually, we have made steps to expand it, and I'm excited about that. Keep us lifted in prayer.
Share the show.
Share the show.
Like the show.
Like the show.
Tell people about the show.
Subscribe to the YouTube.
Subscribe to the
If
show.
you love the Facebook, that's what's up. Rock with us. We're back. We're going to be sticking around. Music at MarrioEsco.com. 2 R's of my name. If you guys want to make any recommendations for anything that you want to see on the show, segments, stuff like that. Little by little, piece by piece, we're growing this out. We do have 9 to 5 gigs. We are fathers and husbands as well. So we do want to be able to have more time, and that's what we're praying for. And there are challenges. It's not just us just chilling, bugging out, and talking into a mic. There are challenges spiritually, and even technically. So we're trying to wrestle with everything as we move forward. Keep us lifted. We love y'all. Till next week. Grace and peace. Take care, y'all.
Peace. And I'm out.
If you're listening on the podcast, be sure to check out my Facebook music page, Marrio Esco 1. Again, 2 R's in my name, the number 1 at the end, Marrio Esco 1. Be sure to like and follow that page because I like to give updates on who I'll be interviewing and leave a description on what we'll be talking about. And I also like the real-time one-on-one back and forth interaction. If you don't have the time to join us on Facebook Live, be sure to check out my podcast. It's called Marrio Esco Live, 2 R's in my name. Again, you'll see the white silhouette of myself with the cross underneath. Be sure to subscribe to that and follow the link as well to whatever podcast you're using or however you're receiving the podcast, and leave us a review. We love to hear feedback. You can also hit me up at music@marrioesco.com and just hit me up with some feedback and ways that we can improve the show or the things that you like and enjoy. Any type of feedback will be highly appreciated. Grace and peace.